When was the last time you cried and why? Just now, but only a little. So I consider it a victory. Due to past relationship issues, I have significant trouble setting boundaries for myself, especially of a sexual nature. I've been with my current partner for almost 4 years now, and they're perfectly understanding and cooperative. Would never make me feel guilty for setting a boundary. That conditioning runs deep. It took me like 10 minutes to build up the courage, and I cried a little afterwards, but I did it. And there was no argument or shouting or guilting, just okay. No problem, a little win this evening. Last night, date with Mrs. went sideways. We both had a take in it. It's been kinda rocky lately, and I wanted to reignite things. However, she told me things are fine and not change is needed. So, we are continuing to raise our teenagers. I know I'm leaving a lot of context that I wasn't expecting her answer. Last night I went to my favorite crying spot, kneeled down and let it all out as I kept saying I'm not fine. This is not fine, I'm hurting, I hurt. Felt really afterwards though. And no, I'm not fine and still hurt. But pushing forward for my bows. An open mic night during spring break. I sometimes have issues with anxiety and singing in front of others. I played a song I wrote for my grandfather, and the whole bar went eerily quiet. As soon as I said thank you, the whole bar erupted with applauses and I was shocked. I went to sit down afterwards to watch other people perform. An elderly country musician said my pitch and singing was perfect and my grandfather would have been proud. It was the best compliment I've ever received and I started tearing up a little bit. A few hours ago, whenever I'm left alone with nothing to do, I get the crushing realization I don't really have many friends and I am subject to immense loneliness. I see people and their friends consistently making time to do things with each other, and I haven't had that for years. Theo Vaughn hit the nail on the head when he said loneliness doesn't necessarily feel like you have nobody. It's that you feel like nobody has you. My last relationship made me a hermit for over 10 years, and now I'm reaping what I sow. Exactly a month ago, I was just going to check on a very close friend that had been sick for a few days. We were a few people that visited him to make sure he was okay. But he didn't answer the phone one morning, so his girlfriend texted me, and I rushed to his house, only to find him unalive on the couch. It was heartbreaking. I could barely speak to the 112,911. His funeral is 8th of May, and I can't and won't be able to handle it. It hurts so much because I don't get to say a proper goodbye. About a few weeks ago, I missed someone as well, which seems to be common. Unfortunately, I don't have anyone to talk to about this type of stuff. AI seems to help, but I felt having someone real to talk to would help a lot. It doesn't help that she has a lot of support around her and is able to get over things much easier than I. I'm not mad about that at all. I'm just jealous I don't have that same support. I'm so very happy she has people to help her out. I really am. At my grandfather's funeral this past December, he was 97 and a retired Lutheran pastor who had faithfully served his congregation for 20 years. His family, some 25 members of the clergy, were in attendance for his funeral, including some whom he had baptized, confirmed, encouraged to go to seminary, married, and been there for their ordinations. At the end of the service, we sang this as the family and clergy processed out. Yesterday, I had surgery less than 4 days ago, and my twin sister refused to clean our room that she messed up. I've been asking her for over a month. I always clean the room, but it takes her months to even start. She's going through her anger issue phase. However, she's been in the phase for years. I depend more on my 2-year-old sister than her. Did I mention we're 16? She is old enough to clean the damn room. I'm in so much pain, and she expects me to do it and her bidding. Around an hour ago, been feeling like absolute fucking shit emotionally. I sat down in my bed, empty room, Light going down trough the window. I remembered my ex-GF, who left me in February. Thought I can't believe how much I needed you name, and how much I need you name. Started crying like a baby. I've been crying every single day since then. Lots of shit. Unmended emotional problems, the grievance, being lost at life, dysfunctional family. I have cried every single day for the past 11.5 months since my service dog, a little Yorkie named Kai, passed away in my arms unexpectedly. That little dog was everything to me. The only hope I have is that I'll see her in the next realm. It's been all this time, and her ashes in a beautiful rosewood urn are still in the bag that came from the vet's office. I have not been able to take it out of there. Now, I'm crying again. I met a guy online a couple years ago. We became best friends. Fell asleep on the phone every night. He told me he wanted to marry me. He introduced me to his entire family online, and a month before I was supposed to go meet him, he ghosted me last year. It wasn't even the relationship being gone. I lost my best friend. It was the worst I've ever felt. It hurt so much I didn't even know how to cry over it for the longest time. I'll start by saying that while I am female, I rarely cry. That had our kitty to the vet recently to fix his dental issues was quoted at $4,000. We just can't do that. Cried all the way home with him. And every time I looked at him in the days following. Went to another vet a few days later. Got a better price. He's going for surgery tomorrow. A weight was lifted once we got that second opinion. A friend of mine recently passed away. He was my cousin's best friend, and he was always kind to me. And you could tell they loved each other. I miss him, but I feel worse for my cousin who is heartbroken. I went through a similar situation back in 2017, and it's also brought up some of those old emotions and memories of my best friend who passed. Just a stew of sadness and pain. Just today briefly, and before that months, or up to a year ago, I was on a solo drive just to get out of the house, and Celine Dion's song Because You Loved Me came on the radio. And I just started weeping. Truth is, I had no one like that in my 50 years of life, and makes me wonder if I was undeserving. My life sucks. Or I would have no reason to cry or be triggered. 2 nights ago, I got drunk and was playing some games with my friends. And I was thinking about my partner whom I'm in love with that hadn't yet told them. I was so overwhelmed with positive emotions I just started crying. We exchanged I love yous last night. They're my favorite person. My home, my best friend, love is great. 2 days ago, found a note my husband wrote to his affair partner of the last 2.5 years regarding wanting to abandon me and the kids. After getting found out, he says he is remorseful and wants to work things out, but I don't feel I will ever trust him again. I'm shattered and deeply traumatized and have no idea what to do. Yesterday, there was a conflict going on where I volunteer. The lead volunteer said something that triggered my anxiety and depression. I spent the next 90 minutes hiding outside, crying and talking myself out of self-harm. Got an email this morning with a half-hearted apology admitting my stance was the correct one. About a month ago, broke off a 7-year relationship. I was sorting through all of my photos to pull ones of her to give them to her before I deleted them. They were all from our adventures together, and she was smiling in every one. The thought that I couldn't make her smile anymore tore me up, and I lost it. Probably yesterday. I read sad books. Sometimes I get teary-eyed. That or just very sweet videos of pets being cute make me teary-eyed. Last time I had a genuinely big cry was, probably when I read that one heart-wrenching fanfic. So a couple of years ago I think. I'm an OSP overly sensitive person, so I'll often tear up, but the last time I remember crying was in January of this year. I had a very hard conversation with someone, and all the pain that was just built up inside just came running out like a waterfall. It was today, everything was going okay, and I didn't feel depressed or sad. I prepared lunch and sat at the table to eat. Next thing I know, I'm feeling extremely lonely with 3 other empty chairs around the table, and I actually started bawling. a couple of months ago. I'm not sure exactly as the months blended together. And it was over watching someone use me and treat me like I'm not worth anything. That I've spent 13 years trying my best for them since I was around 10. When for the first time in my life I saw tears in the eyes of my father, who never lost hope. From that day I realized that the hope of the family is me. And I cannot let my father down. For years have passed since this day. 2 days ago. Thought about my grandma who passed away 2 weeks ago. She didn't go peacefully either. Traumatic experience for my entire family. Everyone says things will get easier. But I'm skeptical. I miss her so much. When I had to have my dog put to sleep, she had an untreatable form of cancer and was in too much pain and discomfort. She died peacefully in my arms, but God, it was heartbreaking. Rest in peace now, Missy girl. I cried 2 days ago. Just broke up 2 weeks ago with the love of my life, and I realized that he might never change to even try to work things out with me. I'm stuck in a world of thoughts about what ifs. Probably a few months ago. I often bottle up a lot of emotions, then break down and cry. It feels great after finally letting it all out go. I rarely have a reason for it. Just feel sad or stressed. Happy cry a few weeks ago. Cause I found out one of my mates is gonna be a dad. And he's gonna be such an incredible dad. His kid is gonna know how very much they're loved and accepted their whole life.